What's going on, Giants fans? Before we get into today's show, let's wish Daniel Jones a happy birthday. He turns 25 years old today, so let's get the good vibes rolling. Light up the comment section and wish Daniel Jones a happy birthday. Welcome in to New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green, and in today's show, we're going to go through some Giants OTAs, winners and losers. Remember, it's a voluntary, non-padded practice, so to be a winner, you just got to show a little bit, and to be a loser, maybe you got hurt, maybe something else happened. I think you guys might like my last loser at the very end, but first, let's kick it off with the winners, and the biggest one for me is Daniel Bellinger, the fourth-round tight end the Giants selected in the 2022 NFL draft, and then you are just hearing great reviews from him in the open media availability sessions of these practices. He's running with the first offense. Him and Ricky Seals-Jones have been splitting the first team tight end reps, and for someone that was drafted in the fourth round, that had a lot of question marks about, can he be a receiving threat in the National Football League, to come in already impress Brian Dable and Mike Kafka enough to be getting burned with the first offense, that's a great sign for Bellinger and what he could do in his rookie season. But another reason he's a winner, because when you look at this depth chart, he's already been doing it, but he has a clear path to be tight end one on this roster. Right now, I have Ricky Seals-Jones as the starting tight end for the New York Giants. I have Bellinger right behind him, Jordan Akins as tight end 3, and Chris Myriak as tight end 4. I like this room better than I did a couple of weeks ago, the fact that Bellinger is ahead of schedule. I like Ricky Seals-Jones as a receiving threat. But when you look at what Bellinger did last year in college, he wasn't really asked to be a seam stretcher or someone that got a whole bunch of targets. But when he was targeted, he made plays and made the most of his opportunities. 31 catches, 357 yards, 11.5 yards per pop, and 2 touchdowns. He has the ability to run by people. He ran a 4.6 40 at the NFL Combine. He possesses great hands, very soft hands. Someone that can go over the middle, catch the ball, tuck it, get upfield, and look for more yards. He's also a good red zone threat. He has some highlights back in college last year where he would go up on top of DBs and pluck the ball right from over their head. A little bit of Randy Moss action. I like Bellinger a lot as a prospect, and the more I'm getting to see of him, I'm starting to like him even more, and that's why he's my number one winner coming out of the early section of Giants OTAs. But I'll leave this question up to you, Giants fans. What tight end on the roster out of Ricky Seals-Jones and Daniel Bellinger is going to have more touchdowns for Big Blue this season? If you think it's going to be Ricky Seals-Jones, type RS in the comment section, or if you think the Rook, Daniel Bellinger is the guy, go down in the comments and type DB. I want to say thank you to everybody that has gone down and hit that big red button, because we crossed over 9,000 subs last week, and now we're trying to get to 10,000 subscribers. We're 780 subs away, and look, if you haven't subbed yet, don't be a fraud. Go down right now, hit that big red button. People always ask me, Marshall, stop begging for subs. Well, according to the analytics, 70% of people that still watch these videos aren't subscribed. Look, if all those people hit that big red button, we wouldn't have to do these sub reads anymore. So if you haven't yet, join the family. Daily free videos every day. And the dog days of the NFL calendar, June and July, are right here. Yeah, except for when I'm sick earlier this week. We don't talk about that because I'm back. I'm better. I went through live on Wednesday. That was rough. But go down right now, hit that big red button. Help us get to 10,000 subs. The second biggest winner I have coming out of the early part of OTAs is the rookie wide receiver Wan'Dale Robinson, simply because of the catch he had yesterday on Aaron Robinson. If you haven't seen the video, it's on my Twitter. You can go follow me over there at @MarshallGreen_. But he just ran a simple go route up the left sideline. Daniel Jones dropped back, threw the ball up. It was a 50-50 ball. Robinson was all over his back, and the 5'8" Wan'Dale Robinson went over the top, snagged it. It was a great catch. It was a touchdown. He got up. I love what I've seen from Robinson so far. Him and Daniel Jones are already showing a great chemistry, and the fact that Steve Smith, not Giant Steve Smith, well, kind of Giant Steve Smith, because he was on the Giants staff for 30 seconds yesterday, and then he wasn't. But this Carolina Panthers Steve Smith, him and Wan'Dale Robinson were working on the sideline yesterday. And for a smaller guy like Robinson, 5'8", to be learning and getting some tips of the trade from Steve Smith, arguably the best small receiver in NFL history, that's going to go a long way for his progression and the way that he develops in the National Football League. Another reason he's a winner, I think he's going to be able to contribute right away for the New York Giants. I have him right now as wide receiver 5, but if he continues to do what he's done so far in the offseason, he's going to step ahead of Darius Slayton on this depth chart. We all know one of these wide receivers is going to get hurt this year for the New York Giants. That's just the way things go. So Wan'Dale is going to be asked to contribute early on in his rookie year. Remember when he was selected in the second round just a couple of weeks ago, and everybody was like, Wan'Dale Robinson, who the hell is that? He was getting booed. You're not going to be booing this kid come Sundays because he's a playmaker, and he's going to make a lot of Giants fans regret their words that they spoke on draft day just a couple of weeks ago. And since a lot of nice things weren't said about Wan'Dale Robinson when he was drafted, and he's done everything right since he's come in. He's been there. He's worked hard. He's been in every practice except one because he had to go to some mandatory rookie symposium. He's been there putting his best foot forward. So let's wish him well. Let's show Wan'Dale Robinson some love. Type 17, his jersey number, in the comment section. I want to go down there and see a whole bunch of 17s because, look, if Wan'Dale Robinson is better, the Giants are better, and everyone that watches this video wants the Giants to be better. So show him some love. Type 17 in the comment section. The last winner, I could have had 20 winners from OTAs, but the 3 biggest, and the last one is Shane Lemieux. And it's the fact that back in week 2 of the 2021 NFL season, he tore his patella tendon, and he's already back on the field and being the starting left guard for this Giants offensive line. He's gotten every rep with the first team at the starting left guard spot, and it looks like this spot throughout the summer, the rest of OTAs and heading into training camp in the preseason is going to be his spot to lose. Andrew Thomas, Shane Lemieux, John Feliciano, Mark Gawinski, and Evan Neal have been the starting offensive linemen so far through OTAs. And for Shane Lemieux to come back from a brutal patella injury that some people, lose their careers over that type of injury, never get back to the type of player they are, for him to already step in and be the starting left guard for this offense shows what he did to rehab and get himself back on track. I love the nastiness he plays with, but he does need to take a step as a player and be better than he has in his NFL career if he wants to continue to be the starting left guard. But the fact he's already out there working and back from that knee injury, that makes him a winner in my book. Another winner is Rumble because Giants is now posting their content over on there. Hit us up over there. Give us a follow. Show us some love. We are on the doorstep of 2,000 followers over on Rumble. Show us some love. Give us a follow. Rumble.com/NY Giants TV. It's very similar to YouTube. Giants Now content is over there. And my favorite feature about Rumble is you can close out of the app, and the audio of the video will continue to roll in the background while you're answering a text message or scrolling through your Twitter TL. So give us a follow, show us some love. I'll put the link to rumble.com/NY Giants TV in the comments and description of this video. In life, there are winners and there are losers. And unfortunately, I didn't even want to do this, and I'm only doing this so I can give you guys an injury update. I have Kayvon Thibodeaux as a loser, and it's because he got hurt last Thursday at practice, and since then he's been wearing a red jersey at practice, non-contact, hasn't been participating. The injury doesn't seem to be very significant. They're kind of holding him out as precautionary and being safe. They don't want their number 5 overall pick to run himself into the ground and get more hurt than he has been. And Brian Daboll spoke about this yesterday, and this is what he had to say about the Kayvon Thibodeaux situation. He said, I don't think there's really any long-term concerns. We'll see. It's day to day. I'm talking about everybody. I think the red jersey guys are making progress, and hopefully we'll have everybody ready to go. This is just smart by the Giants to hold Kayvon Thibodeaux out. We know that he likes to go hard. We know that he loves to practice. He likes to be the guy to step up and act as the offensive lineman when the first team or different guys on the Giants defensive line need to work. Sometimes it's good to slow people down, and that's what you got to do with Kayvon Thibodeaux. He wants to go out there. He wants to embrace this fan base. But right now, he's in the red practice jersey, and he's riding the stationary bike. He's staying in shape. So I wouldn't say he's really a loser, but I snuck him in here so I can give you guys a Kayvon Thibodeaux injury update. So don't look too much into it. I love Kayvon Thibodeaux. If you watch the show, you know that. And I know you guys love Kayvon Thibodeaux. So let's wish him a speedy recovery. It was kind of a groin injury. That's what he was holding when he fell down and got tripped up last week in practice. But he seems to be okay. You heard it from Brian Daboll. So let's wish him a speedy recovery. Type 5, his jersey number, in the comment section. Look, the more 5s we get, probably the more healthy he's going to be and the faster he'll be back on the field. It's just science. Type number 5 in the comment section to wish Kayvon Thibodeaux a speedy recovery. The actual biggest loser I have out of OTAs is Matt Peart. And it's because there's already a rookie in Joshua Ezeudu starting to get reps at the left tackle spot. Matt Peart hasn't played or participated at all in OTAs coming off the ACL injury he suffered last year. If he were to be on the field, he would be ahead of schedule. But there's already rumors coming out from Zach Rosenblatt and other beat reporters that the Giants could look to cut Matt Peart and him not make the Giants' 53-man roster. And the fact that a rookie, Joshua Ezeudu, that was drafted to be a left guard and maybe play right guard, is already getting reps at left tackle in case Matt Peart isn't the guy to be the swing tackle for the Giants, I think it's a little bit concerning for the way that Matt Peart might not make this roster. If he doesn't make this roster, I don't think it would be a surprise to anybody. He hasn't lived up to the hype after being an early draft pick out of UConn under the Dave Gettleman regime. Right now, I have him as the backup left tackle. But Matt Gano is also on this roster, and if Joshua Ezeudu can be your backup swing tackle while also being your backup left guard in his rookie season, there's no need really to have Matt Peart on this roster anymore. So for that reason, I hope he continues to get better and progress and get healthy and get on the field because he does have some potential. He was a third-round pick, but at the end of the day, the best ability is availability, and he hasn't been available so far through Giants OTAs. The biggest loser, though, for sure, is the fraud, Joe Judge. Yes, we're talking about Joey Judge once again on Giants Now. And the reason I have him as a loser is, it's a little bit light. Let's keep it light. It's Friday in May. There was a fight at Giants practice yesterday. Corey Cunningham and Quincy Roche got into a fight. Corey Cunningham is a guy that I wouldn't want to mess with. Go look how big of a dude he is. And he threw a haymaker at Quincy Roche. The fight got broken up. A couple more punches were thrown. But Brian Daboll, he didn't have anyone running laps. Remember last year when the Giants and Browns got into a fight at joint practices and the practice pretty much stopped because the whole Giants team was doing up downs and running laps like it was a JV football practice? No more of that amateur stuff. Joe Judge is gone. The real guy, the real head coach, the real football guy, Brian Daboll, is in. He's not having any of that elementary stuff. No laps. So that makes Joe Judge a loser. And also, what Bobby Johnson had to say makes Joe Judge a loser. This is what Bobby had to say, the Giants offensive line coach, about the current state of the Giants offensive line. He said, in this profession, whether you're a coach or a player, you have things that we call scar tissue, or, not to make light of the situation, some PTSD over things that have happened to you that shape your identity or shape your philosophy. And there's some guys I've interacted with that have had that because of things that have happened in the recent past. What's the recent past? Joe Judge. Joe Judge is the recent past for this Giants offensive line. 2 years ago, in his rookie season, or his rookie head coaching season, Joe Judge fired Mark Colombo as the Giants offensive line coach. And since then, Joe Judge stepped in and pretty much was the Giants' assistant offensive line coach. He said he spent more time with those guys than any position in the building. And the fact that there is scar tissue and PTSD now with those guys as Bobby Johnson takes over is just another indictment of Joe Judge, someone that was not ready to be a head coach. So for that, that's why he's my biggest loser out of Giants OTAs. But look, if you're excited that Brian Daboll is in and Joe Judge is out, like this video. I'm so excited we're not going to have to see 2nd and 8 QB sneaks and then 3rd and 8 QB sneaks backed up against our own goal line. It's going to be refreshing to see people throw the ball, go for it on 4th down, be a risk-taking team. I love the new regime and the new thought process of how to win football games under Brian Daboll. I'm just glad the fraud, Joe Judge, is out of a job here in New York. But look, I appreciate everybody that clicked on today's video and made New York Giants Now a part of their day. If you made it this far in the video, show me some love over on Twitter at @MarshallGreen_. Everybody that gives me a follow and lets me know you came from the OTA Winners and Losers video, I'll make sure to give you a follow back.